Thank you for joining with me in the continuation of Chapter 2, The Separation and the Atonement. We are in the power of the mind, cause and effect. And this is page 59, and we're picking up where we left off. It is pointless, so this is why Jesus tells us, it is pointless to believe that controlling the outcome of misthought can result in healing. When you are fearful, you have chosen wrongly. That is why you feel responsible for it. You must change your mind, not your behavior. And this is a matter of willingness. You do not need guidance except at the mind level. And this is Ken. Once again, these vitally important statements were originally meant to correct Helen and Bill's response to Jesus' teachings. He was attempting to move them from their focus on specifics to their need for guidance at the level of the mind. He was also introducing the essential theme, of cause and effect, as it is the cause that we need to undo, not the effect. We are urged not to seek to control the outcome of misthought behavior, but our wrong choice in the mind. This is a matter of our desire to change our mistaken decision, and it is here that we require help. It is extraordinary when we reread passages like these after having read the text and realize that Jesus was saying this right at the beginning. How come I didn't see it? We exclaim to ourselves as we read. You must change your mind, not your behavior. You do not need guidance except at the mind level. And most students are familiar with the previously quoted line that comes later in the text. Seek not to change the world, but choose to change your mind about the world. This is not about protecting the unmindful, the body, by denying our behavior. As we saw, Jesus also made it clear to Helen that he was not against discipline, which may indeed be helpful temporarily. If we are alcoholics, for example, it is very simple. We should not drink. On the other hand, we need to be vigilant against trying to prove we are not bodies by saying we can drink anything we want. Jesus is not against abstinence when there is an obsession or an addiction of some kind. He is simply teaching that abstaining from a substance or behavior is not going to heal the mind of its mistaken decision for guilt, although it can be a helpful step toward undoing it. He says further, correction belongs only at the level where change is possible. Change does not mean anything at the symptom level where it cannot work. The correction of fear is your responsibility. Jesus is teaching us what asking him for help really means, which is what makes this chapter so very important. As the lesson was so easily missed, he repeated it many years later in the Song of Prayer. It has remained tempting for students to think that prayer or asking the Holy Spirit means asking for things or relief from pain, the world of form or effects, despite clear statements to the contrary, such as we find here. He teaches us, it is not my responsibility to take your fear away, but yours, since you put it there. While I cannot unchoose the ego you chose, I can remind you of your need to choose again. And this is from the text. When you ask for release from fear, you are implying that it is not. You should ask instead for help in the conditions that have brought the fear about. These conditions always entail a willingness to be separate. Jesus returns to the mind's decision-making power that chose the ego. If we do not acknowledge and respect the power of our minds to choose wrongly, we will not be able to call upon that power to correct our mistake. Thus, the ego's strategy in making the world and body. We would become so engrossed in our bodily lives that we would never remember the mind's power to choose for or against the ego. Since we would have no sense of the mind's power to miscreate the world, along with its multitudinous problems, we could never take the responsibility for our own lives. I'm going to go ahead and stop there today, and we will pick up this reading tomorrow. I thank you so much for joining with me in the truth of who we are. I love you. Have a beautiful day. See you tomorrow.